What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Rel Simon, up in the attic trying to do a video. This is the video companion to my podcast, episode 24, No Strings with SNAP and EBT, aka food stamps. Now, it's hard out here. I got an email blast the other day in my email subscription box from the New York Times. I'll breeze real quick through this article from German Lopez, New York Times article, morning article, good morning. Title, Good Morning, America's Neediest Are Dealing with Food Stamp Cuts and Prices at the Same Time. So it's a lot of data. I may try to link the article in there, but earlier this year, millions of Americans got a notice. Your food budget is about to be cut, potentially by hundreds of dollars a month. And he offers some tips and just a lot into this article, but also some data about how food stamp cuts will play out, knowing that this month cuts ended the expanded benefits in the 32 states that still had them, but 18 states had already revoked the extra benefits. In those states, food insecurity, which measures insufficient access to food, rose more quickly in states that kept the benefits. So the whole notice, also in this article, the notice signals the coming end of a federal increase of food stamps that started in the early days of the pandemic, when unemployment spiked and lawmakers feared that hunger would too. So we know how it is. Some of you may not have grown up with food stamps, may have not. But the benefits are decreasing, and as we know, food stamps, inflation is still high. It's ridiculous out here, y'all. And per the Department of Human Services website for the DC rates per se, the average person receives about $281 of benefits. Family of four receives about $939 of benefits. So really got to gauge in terms of a month, does that cover you in terms of like a monthly allotment? I know for me, I probably spend like $500-$600 on groceries. So if I was under the poverty line, like $281 wouldn't be enough for me. And that number is the maximum. You may not even be, some people may not even be getting that number per se. But a family of four, $939, you may not even be receiving that amount of money. So it all differs. But personally, like I remember the food stamp, EBT card thing. I remember those food coupons, those brown $1 food stamps, the blue $5, the green $10 bills. And I'm glad I'm sort of out of that. I was able to get out of that sort of like system, but um, the data doesn't lie. A lot of people struggling to make ends meet. Some people don't even know where their next meal is coming from. Food insecurity is rampant, y'all. According to CNBC data, 37.9 million Americans are currently in poverty. So that's 1 in 10 people. So 1 out of every 10 people in your apartment building, on the train with you, or you waiting in line at the grocery store. 1 out of those 10 people. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not saying in every subset, but there's a chance. And 1 out of 10, 1 out of those 10 people in your immediate cluster is in poverty. Some of those people in poverty might make just enough to not be able to receive the SNAP benefits. So it's just bad all around. Like that's how it is in like America. The other thing I do implore is, like, I know it's hard with inflation and everything, but we should always try to do what we can, do our part to try and help some of these big organizations, and because with food insecurity on the rise, and you just never know. Some people out here are foregoing breakfast, foregoing lunch, foregoing dinner. Um, it's an epidemic, and it's tough. I do implore you to maybe donate financially, or volunteer time, or volunteer some of your resources. Maybe next time you go get a bunch of groceries, maybe get a bunch of canned goods and fruits and vegetables, and try to see if you can donate them to local food banks or kitchens, such as the Capital Area Food Bank, so others might eat. Feeding America, No Kid Hungry, and so many other organizations that help for this cause, because it's tough. And I know a lot of food banks out here are just like on the brink, but it's just bad all around. Mm. So again, it was just an article that I just looked up, and one of the other subject line of the email, going hungry in America. And there's a lot of people going hungry in America. There's going to be more people going hungry in America now that these allotments, which the government sets every October 1st, they set an allotment of for like a whole year, depending on a bunch of different factors. They set an allotment of how much they're going to issue in food stamp benefits. So that refreshes, and it's only a few months until October. And according to these articles and the data, those benefits are going to decrease, especially from what they once were during the pandemic in 2020 and 2021, where there was so much emergency relief aid. So a lot of that is starting to plateau back down. But definitely credit to the CNBC data I checked out. Credit to this article. Credit to the data I looked up for Department of Health and Human Services. And again, credit to the New York Times, based off the article that I was pulling out some information on. And I really break everything down more on my podcast, episode 24. Again, this has been the video companion to my podcast. The sort of it's like a post-show video or post-video, just sort of reflecting on what my as a companion to my podcast. And so this is the video companion to episode 24, No Strings with SNAP and EBT, aka food stamps. So on my socials, I have links. I have links down below. Always remember to like and subscribe to videos. On TikTok at Rel Simon, on Instagram at @KicksOnCanvas_artistry. And again, this is a companion, trying to break it down, trying to was something that I wanted to do an episode about, because I can relate, because I remember those days, those rations. I remember those boxes of farina, and I remember eating oodles and noodles, and I was able to get out of that, and hopefully so many more people can get out of that, because a lot of people are in poverty, a lot of people are starving, a lot of kids out here are just like hungry, and it's tough out here. Can't help everybody. Everybody doesn't want to be helped, but we can only do what we can for who we can help out. So that's all I got. It's a quick little 7-8 minute video. Again, this is a companion. Full breakdown is on my podcast, No Strings Podcast with Rel Simon. Thank y'all for checking out this quick little video, and I'll catch y'all next time.